to just another stitch. For those that don't know me, my name is Connie, and today I'm going to teach you how to do the knit, stitch, and knitting. So for the supplies that I'm using for today's tutorial, I am using a 4-weighted yarn. I'm using big twist, but it really doesn't matter the type of yarn that you use, but I would use at least a 4-weighted yarn. All right, for knitting needles, I am using 5mm knitting needles. And my preference, I tend to use circular needles for everything, which has the cord here. But you don't have to use circular knitting needles. You could use just regular knitting needles. The main thing is that you just have your 2 needles. All right. So you want to have 10 stitches casted on. And if you've never casted on before, never fear. I have a tutorial for the long tail cast on method, and I will put that link in the description box for y'all. So once you have your 10 stitches casted on, what you want to do is, all right, in your left hand, you have your needle with the stitches. Your right hand, you have your other needle. You take your right needle and you go in that first stitch. And you see how I'm doing it? That right needle is underneath the left needle. And you see if I open it up, that's how it's going to look. It's just, it goes in like that. Okay, let me tighten that. Okay. And if you look at it from the side view, this is how it looks. And that's the back view. Okay. So again, I'm going to show you that one more time. You just go in like you're making an X. Your right needle is underneath the left needle. All right. Now you want to make sure you're working with the working yarn, not the tail. All right. And the working yarn is what connects to your yarn skein. All right. Grab the working yarn. And you're just going to loop it over your right needle like that. And you see that's how it looks. And when you do the knit stitch, your working yarn is always in the back like this. You'll understand this more when I show you how to do the purl stitch and the importance of the placement of the yarn. But it always goes in the back. Because when you do the purl stitch, you would go in like this. But you want that yarn in the front. But knit stitch, it's always in the back. All right. So you go in like you're making an X. Okay. You take your yarn and you wrap it around that right needle. Now you take your right needle and you're going to pull it through that stitch like this. And then you knock the stitch off your needle. All right, don't worry, we're going to get more practice. Make your X, right needle under your left. Take your working yarn, wrap it around your right needle. Okay, now you take your right needle and you go through the loop of the stitch that you're working into. Now, you take what's on your left hook and knock it off. All right, now you go into that next stitch, make your X, right needle under the left needle, take your working yarn, wrap it around that right needle. Now, you take your right needle and you go through the stitch and you knock it off. All right, again, make your X, right needle under your left needle, take your working yarn, and watch. I'm going to show you from reverse, the back way. You see, all I'm doing is wrapping it around like that, if you look at the back, okay? So wrap it around. And then I'm also going to show you this in the back way. You see how I'm going like this? All right, and then you knock it off. All right, again, make your X, right needle under the left needle, wrap your yarn around your right hook, take your right needle, go through the stitch. And like I said, all you're doing is just going under that stitch like this. Then you knock that stitch on your left needle off your needle. All right, we're going to get some more practice. Make your X, wrap around, take your needle, and go through like this. And knock it off. Make your X, right needle under the left needle, wrap around the right needle, take your right needle, and go through that stitch. And then you knock it off. Make your X, wrap around, take your right needle through the stitch, and knock it off. All right. Go through the stitch, make your X, wrap around, go through the stitch, and knock it off your needle. And then the last stitch, make your X, wrap around your right needle, take your right needle through the stitch, and you knock it off. Okay, so you just finished knitting into all 10 of your stitches. And if you notice, there are 10 stitches on your needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Each loop is a stitch. All right, so when you finish your row, you'll notice all your stitches face the left side of your needle. And you're probably wondering, what now? How do I start the next row? And it's easy peasy. All you do is you take your knitting needle and you turn it, where then the stitches will be facing on the right side of your needle. And this needle with the stitches will be on your left side, in your left hand, and your empty needle will be in your right hand. And then you just start working your stitches again, just like what you just did. And that's all there is to doing the knit stitch. So on my next beginner knitting series video, I will be teaching y'all how to do the purl stitch. So stay tuned for that tutorial. And I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. And I want to know how your journey goes for learning the knit stitch. Let me know in the comments down below. And I hope y'all all have a fabulous day. Bye, everyone.